Hello. I'm setting up the camera at the moment. But I think there's one person watching, so hello to whoever it is that's watching. Thank you for your support. Hello. I don't know how I look, because, oh, I can see, yeah. I think I'll make it a bit lower, maybe. I don't, that's fine. I was just slouching. Hello, Drusty. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello, Brendan. Will work. I have some like forms and stuff I need to fill out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tutoring. I am full, unfortunately. I think I replied to you on your comment. I don't know if you got a notification for that, but sorry, I am full. What subjects did you need tutoring for, by the way? Oh, it was English, wasn't it? It was English. And Toby, tips on work-life balance for uni. Are you starting uni? Like, is it your first year? It's pretty exciting. In terms of work-life balance, I think know what grades you want to achieve. Like, is there is it a competitive course? Do you want to transfer? Whatever. In that case, you'll have to work hard. But I think uni definitely do some clubs you like, right? I think first semester, especially because it's not that busy, is a time to test things out. Do a lot of activities, see what your sort of limit is, and then pick the ones you like, continue with them, and see how much you need to study for. But I would say give yourself a bit of room the first couple of weeks because there is sort of an adjustment period. So don't like join every single club possible. See what the academic stress is like and how much work you have to do each week. All that jazz. Oh, Kartik. Congratulations. That's an amazing score. Yeah, good work. What subjects did you do? I'm curious, by the way. But that's amazing. And what are you doing for uni? Oh, chem. I don't actually tutor chem. So, feel free to message me on Instagram or email me. I can try and find some friends who are tutoring chem. But yeah, I don't actually tutor chem. So, yeah. Oh, med, nice. Ah, that's awesome. Good work. Yeah, I'll see you in med then. Not really next year, in a couple months. Yeah, good scores. I gotta change this camera angle. I feel like I can see like everything. Wait, let me. Is this better? Yeah, kinda. No, yes. Let me have a look. Yeah, means decent. Hello, Andrew. Yeah, I guess you can see the iPad no matter what. Whatever. Oh, so you didn't do biology either, Kartik? Now that I realise. Why did 48 in length get you worried? That's a bit of a weird. As in you were worried about in length before you got 48, or? Oh, Archer, hello, welcome. How did your stream go? I was in there for a. Oh, I saw it, but I was tutoring, but I caught it right before. I saw you were studying. Did you have some kind of test, or are you just pre-learning for uni? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Oh, you did buy it then. I don't know if you remember this stuff, but yeah, it's good that you did buy it. It'll be helpful. Yeah, play basketball. Favorite player? I don't know. Yeah, I liked Kawhi, but he hasn't been playing much. Do you have a favorite player? Do I do volunteering? No. Yeah, I'd be open to it, but I just haven't had much time. Do you do any volunteering? Oh, nice, Archer. Did they tell you what you're gonna learn, beforehand? Oh, it's res and Send me some details about it, Brendan, on Instagram or something. It's like a Is it rural? It is rural, right? Steph Curry, yeah. He was doing really well, and then he's doing okay now. Not fantastic, but I mean, yeah, it's still good. Oh, okay, I see. There's a bug, isn't there? It's flying across the camera, but anyway, yeah. I saw you got a new iPad, Archie. Like, do you just get like a lot of them so you can compare them? Is that like for video ideas? And have you been actually, Archie, just in the holidays and stuff? You, do anything special? Okay, we will. Yeah, Brendan, send me some more info about it. Dennis, thank you for joining. Kartik, you working at a hospital? No, I'm doing a lot of tutoring at the moment, so I don't really have time to like work in a hospital, which is a pretty demanding job, even if you just like helping out. Yeah, I did work experience there though. Oh, email. Sure, I'll paste my email. Yeah, I found it hard because my content was very VC focused, and the moment like VC exams finished, I was a bit lost on what to do. But I think branching into general study things like you have been doing is a good idea. Yeah. What's your upload schedule though? Is it like once a fortnight? Is that or yeah? But I do agree, like taking a break's fine. I'm curious about TikTok though. Like whether yeah. I remember you were doing quite well on TikTok, so. Yeah, I think TikTok's pretty chill, Archer. Like, yeah, I mean, I saw some of yours are pretty entertaining, right? It was like you in like a bus, or you just talking as you walk. It's quite nice. Why is pie my email? I don't know, I just did it, and I think it's very awkward when I need to like say it. Like, people ask me what my email is, like, in person, and I gotta like say it like 314. That makes it quite weird. Did you still watch YouTube while studying for your VC? Yeah. I didn't really stop anything for VC, but I would say like I didn't really watch a lot of TV shows, movies, or play a lot of games. So that those are things you potentially might want to cut down on. How tall am I? I'm 180. Archer, do you do English tutoring? Archer's not from Victoria, but yeah, so I don't know how helpful that is. Oh, yeah, you do coaching, don't you, Archer? Do I have friends that do email cam? Yeah, definitely. Just send me an email. Any good flashcard apps? Oh, you can use Anki on computer mostly, because mostly you do Anki like when you're at home, right? But Quizlet's like okay, and I don't know whether Archer knows any other apps, but that are like free. Quizlet's okay, but it doesn't like transfer, because if you have both, it's a bit awkward. Also, Anki doesn't. I'm pretty sure doesn't cost like a ton. I don't remember, like 40, 50, as in it's like, it's one lesson of tutoring, right, basically. Um, Hi Darren, what's the process after you graduate med? I'm not too clear, but I'm a doctor once I graduate after the 5 years. But to become like, I'm like an intern then or something, and then I become a resident and then a registrar, and then I become like, the GPs, the specialists that you see, like the big guns. But before that, I'm still a doctor. It's a very long process because you got to get into schools for each specialty, and some of them are really competitive. Most of them, well, basically all of them, are quite competitive. 40 for bio for year 11. Do I still have a chance to get above 99? Yeah, of course you do. Definitely. Like 40 is a solid score. Are you Chinese, Kasi? I don't know how many digits I remember. Yeah, I never really can. Oh yeah, you can use Anki on the website, can you? On the phone as well? Or not? Or do you have to, or is it only the app? I'm not too sure. But anyway, most people just use the laptop version anyway. Oh, you don't go on the bus because of COVID. Oh yeah, was it in person at all for you these past 2 years, Archer? Because for me, we had like, Sem 1 we had a couple weeks in person. Sem 2 we had like a day in person. But I'm curious how like your state's handling. Okay, Lina, with my ATAR, why did I decide to do Monash Med, not Med Uni Mel? So this is a pretty classic question. Med at Monash is shorter. That's basically the main reason. Yeah. Um, yeah. That's it, basically, to say about that. If you have any more specifics about why, you can feel free to ask me, but mainly because it's just shorter. Oh, Shane, yeah, hello. Semester 2 was in person and half online. Oh, okay. 2 weeks in first year before online. Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah, so your first year seems pretty awful. Second year's like a bit better. Yeah, I met Shane actually, Archer, I don't know if you know, at a basketball game. I met him and he mentioned that like, you helped him out. And yeah, I actually know Archer because Archer reached out to me when I just started. I was on, I don't even remember, maybe 200 something subscribers, maybe less. But yeah, it was really nice, so I appreciate it. What section do you think was hardest for languages? Um, Hardest to prepare for. No, I actually like the most tiring to prepare for the oral, but like objectively the hardest for me was probably the writing. Oral, you just got to do a lot of effort because you got to memorize a lot and do a lot of practice. It's a lot of work. Writing is just hard because if you're not like fluent in the language, it's a bit you can't write as freely as you want to, and it's hard to think of ideas in the spot, and there's limited time. So that for me were the two hards. So we were just watching him study. It's not really studying. There's like some forms and stuff I got to fill out because like I'm applying for this kind of job thing. So we were just watching Notion. You're controversial. I'm looking forward to that, Archer. Controversial opinion. I guess I assume you mean that it's like bad, but um, yeah, my Notion's really bad. I have no. It's just like slash page. There are no colors, nothing. And I just sort of stopped using it. But I've heard it's a good tool. But I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on it. I don't know what Apple Motion is. Oh, is that a? Oh, okay. Is that an editing thing? Right. What factors are there to consider when picking a timetable? So I don't know if you know, but there is no timetable for medicine. In actually, I'm curious. Do you get to pick any subjects, Archer? For us in Monash, we get zero choice. So you don't pick anything. You don't pick your subject. You don't pick your time. They allocate that to you in medicine. So no picking timetables. Uh, I feel bad telling people reading notes. I feel like people are sort of shifting to know that reading notes is not the best way to study. But do your eyes hurt when you look at a screen all day studying? Not really. I remember people talking about in online school how looking at a screen all day like really hurt them, but I don't think it was that bad for me. Yeah, but I had different eyes. Oh, Ali's video editing course. Yeah. On what do you call it? Skillshare? Is that it? Pretty nifty. I didn't really watch it, but I saw clips of it. That's all. Hello. Once again, congratulations on getting into med. How to start Monash med. Yeah, sure. Actually, that's a good video idea. How to start Monash med. I'll write that down now. How to start Monash med. Any particular like aspects? Is it just how to like get ready before Monash med, or is it how to get adjusted in the first couple of weeks, or both? How did you study for chem? I find it so hard. Uh, Chem, I didn't really study that hard for it. I think make sure you understand stuff. Like when your teacher tells you stuff, you like understand what's going on. Like thermochemical equations, understand why you got to flip stuff. Understand what does exothermic mean. Why does the graph look like that? And just do a bunch of practice questions, and that will solidify you remembering that understanding. What was your detailed study on? I got 35 in Chinese. Wait, how many subjects? Did you do methods? Then that doesn't that mean you did 7, like me? If you did bio methods, Chinese, and then you did those 4 subjects in year 12. I got like 45 Chinese. Oh, detailed study was on this guy called Sima Guang. What job? Oh, Brendan, you know the thing in the med chat, like the vaccinator thing? Notion is where we use it. Oh, Notion. Nice. Oh, you can pick stuff in your first 2 years. Like random subjects, or do they have to be med related? Hello, Arag. Nice to meet you. Oh, paramedic elective. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. 0 choices in Monash Med. Yep, that's just the way it is, I guess. Bit random, but cheers for the methods 3 for help. Got a great study score. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. It's great to know. I'll pass it on to Chen as well, who did the methods walkthrough with me. But that's really great to hear that you achieved a great result. Congratulations. Did you do methods in year 11, or was that a year 12 subject? Did you play any instruments in school during VCE? I didn't. I sort of stopped my instruments about year 8, year 9. I played for the house during chorals, but I didn't really participate in orchestra. Because I did piano, and that's not really an orchestra instrument. Okay, you're a fan of Samai. Okay. Nice. So everyone knows each other. Med related. Ah, can we do that? I thought I've done it for year 3s. You sure, Brendan? Because why would they send it to us if we can't do it? Yeah. I'll check again, but I doubt they will send it to us if we can't do it. Year 12. Nice. As in like year 12 when you did methods. I know you didn't do it, but I was just wondering what's your best advice for acing further maths. Okay, I've heard so much about further maths. Literally like eliminate your... I don't think the content's that hard from what I heard. And from what I've seen, there's like shapes and stuff, like regular shapes, but you don't want to mess up your silly mistakes. So make a list of them, find ways to check your answers. Yeah, just don't make silly mistakes. When did you start aiming for a high ATAR? It's kind of natural. Like I was always did well in school, so it's kind of natural, right? ATAR is just the year 12 version of your exams, so I just kind of want to do well for that. Yeah. I mean, when I aim for it, I guess when I started VC subjects, kind of like when I started thinking about VC, year 10, maybe. But like it's sort of a continuation of just trying to do well in school. Oh, okay, Brendan. No, I didn't email them. I like signed up already. Like, not signed up. Like I made accounts and stuff, but yeah, yeah. So like I just need to fill out the modules, and I'm pretty sure I'm eligible. This might be a different kind of vaccinator, because yeah, they did send it to us, right? So yeah, I'll check that again though. But yeah, I doubt it's a bit dodgy if they send it to us and we can't do it. Are you gonna stick with becoming GP, or we can use to become so? I don't really know. I think the main benefit of being a GP is that I have a lot of free time. So if I want to do a lot of YouTube, or I want to do a lot of what else? Like any other pursuits that I have, I think studying GP is quite good. But surgeon I quite like because I think it's really intense. I really like emergency actually. I think I would love that because it's so intense. I think that it would be very stimulating. Does high school feel like a fever dream? A little bit. It does. It's like a very intense dream though. Like every time I think of it, a lot of emotions rise up because of it's like you're just filled with adrenaline each time, and when you're filled with adrenaline, you tend to remember that moment more. And the people, the exams, it was just really really exciting, really lovely. I'm kind of depressed because I feel like I'm going to go final year, so I feel like my childhood is gone. I'm out. Yeah, so like I said with any kind of failure, and it kind of applies, this isn't a failure, but it kind of applies with like good things that have passed as well. It's like the only thing you can do now is try and enjoy each day a bit more rather than being sad about the past. So I guess just really try and enjoy your final year, meet your friends a lot, don't just put your head in the books, enjoy the time in class, enjoy those rando friends you probably won't catch up with once you graduate, but you enjoy being in the class with. Just have fun each day. They never gave us a link. A link to what? There were 2 like module things you got to fill out, which I just found. But oh, the vaccinator thing, like the not the black and white email, but the other one, like the white one. That one is like a proper government thing. If you just search it up, it's like it's there. It's not like a part of an email. Archer. Oh, you want to do ED? What reasons? How many hours should people study for the UCAT? No, it's fine. Ask as many questions as you like. I don't know. Like, I never really thought about, because it's so long, such a long period of time, it's really hard to say how many hours. I would say like half a year is a good place to start. Start half a year before the actual UCAT. What was the hardest topic in math methods? What was the hardest topic? I think population proportions was a little bit confusing to learn. But I think generally like anti-diff was hard because of the way they tested on you, like the questions and stuff, and the formulas and all that. Oh, not the formulas, like the equations get really messy, so that's quite hard. Yeah, definitely fun and stimulating. I agree. Like I feel like each moment really matters, which is true for any specialty, but I guess especially true for emergency, where it's like literally every single moment matters. But I also haven't had a taste of it. Do you get clinical time? Have you been in the hospital like as part of your uni yet? Fair enough. I never found the module things. What email can you send? Yeah, it's literally the screenshot that Brittany. I have my phone's recording right now. I'll send it to you afterwards. It's literally the message that Brittany sent us. So there were like two messages, right? One's like black and white. It's like Richard's email. The other one's white, and it's like the proper government form thing. How many hours do you study a day in med school? I'm curious what Archer and Brendan would say on this. I didn't really study. Yeah. I think like maybe leading up to exams a little bit, but during the week, like not a lot. I'd watch my lectures, which are an hour, but I speed it up. And I didn't do a ton of studying outside of it because I was kind of busy with other stuff, and I wasn't that motivated to be incredibly efficient with my time. Do you have any regrets about high school? I wish I studied a little harder in chem. I wish I savored high school a little bit more. But I guess anyone can say that, right? You always want to wish you had that little bit more. But I wish I did a bit better in chem. That's my main regret. My uni is in the hospital. What? Oh, uni's in the hospital. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah. My uni is in the... Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I go to hospitals a lot for like family reasons, but it's... Yeah, good. Real patients this year. That'd be good. I think third year for us is where we get those proper rotations, like 12, whatever weeks. Yeah, not saying I studied harder, but I studied harder in chem because chem was my worst subject, but I had a lovely teacher and I had the time to study harder. Like I had the opportunity. It wasn't like chem was on the same day as Latin or something. Ace, hello, welcome. You've been a long time supporter. Welcome to the live. Okay, Brendan. Yeah. I mean, Brendan made it to year 2, so it's all OG. Archer. Yeah. And I just got a perfect ATAR. Oh, no, not ATAR. Perfect, like, GPA, I'm pretty sure. So, it's like being efficient for this time. That was good. How difficult are the first year topics at Monash? They're not that difficult, I'd say. They're just covered really quickly, and there's a lot. And they take a little bit of brain power. So it requires a bit of your brain power, which is somewhat difficult. But the fact that there's so many, and you have 6 lectures every week covering new topics every week, and like an entire new topic as well, that's what makes it hard. Hello, Aria. Welcome. You've also been in the channel a long time. Thank you for joining. Parry, so do you not choose your subjects in med school? In Monash Med, you don't choose your subjects. For most courses, you have a basic subjects you have to take and some other subjects that you can pick. But for Med at Monash, you can't pick anything. Whereas with Med at some other unis, like Archer's uni, you can pick subjects, apparently. Hello, Sid. Are you tutoring any VCE subjects? Yeah, I'm tutoring in Lang only this year, actually. I'm tutoring a lot of other younger people, so it's not really VCE, but in Lang is year 12. Hello, Mary. Just watched my videos. Thank you. Which videos did you watch? How do you motivate yourself? How do you maintain your mental health? I mean, motivation is like if you really want something, right? Like you really want to get a good ATAR, you really want to like beat someone. I guess that's like motivation. That's sort of how you motivate yourself. You have this big goal in mind. How do you maintain your mental health? I think a big thing is not to feel guilty. So if you don't do as much work as you wanted to, if you don't do as well as you wanted to, don't feel guilty. Don't beat yourself up about it. There's really no point in doing that. I think that's a really good way to help your mental health. And of course, arranging things like sport, meeting your friends, just doing that they help your like mental health and so your studies. Did you procrastinate while studying? If you did, yeah, I did. I guess. Like some people tell me that I didn't actually like. I've never really worked hard in my life. Yeah. So I do procrastinate, but how did you get over it while studying? And if you did, how did you get over it? I think calling friends is a good idea. Like sometimes when I do practice exams, on the way home, I would literally call my friend and be like, all right, let's do a practice exam as soon as I get home. And you can't really let them down and not do it, right? I think that's a good way to do it. Other ways is, like my last video on the Pomodoro, starting that, just like walk into your room, right? Don't think too much about what you're going to do, whatever. Go into your room, start the 25-minute timer, and then look for something to do. I think that's a good way of just getting started on that work without being intimidated by how much it is. What's that as sports for each term? So summer I did swimming, winter I did basketball. Spring I did water polo and athletics, younger year levels, but then it became non-compulsory, so I just didn't do it. Do I have any? I watched MMI and just want to say, your channel was so amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the MMI videos, I realized that there's like it's really useful to see what a sample answer looks like because Monash doesn't give any. None of the unis really give a sample answer. But yeah, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Just curious, did any of your classmates? Yeah. Quite a few of my classmates did actually. And some of them actually came back during these holidays, so I got to see them, which was nice. Mainly America and UK. Do you have any advice on specialist maths? Eliminate silly areas, right? That's the same with any math subject. But also try and like make sure you understand it. Like make sure you know how to do the question. You're just not sort of copying what the teacher's doing, hoping it's right. Make sure you know like why what you're doing will lead you to the right answer when you learn new concepts, when you do new questions. Yeah, Brendan's actually studying med as well. So any questions you guys have, feel free to answer it as well, Brendan. And if you have any questions for him as well, go for it. He's a rural, so I don't know if that adds like a different perspective to things. Did I study 12 plus hours? No, I did not study 12 plus hours in high school. Firstly, definitely not in high school, and I don't think anyone should study 12 plus hours up until maybe year 12. And even then, I don't think it's really necessary. I don't really know many people who got a 9.95 and studied 12 plus hours. It's not that necessary. Especially if you don't. Oh, I guess you include school time, right? 7 hours. 5 hours? Maybe like very occasionally. I'd study 5 hours outside of class. Special exam. I didn't look at it. My friend looked at it, Gordon, who I've done some walkthroughs with. He said it was quite hard, but not like overwhelming. Like he did it, just to see what it was like. But he said it was like doable, but like very hard. Oh, Andreas, yes, definitely tell Derek about me. Yeah, he is really amazing. Um, yeah, I'll check. Yeah, but please, yeah, do let him know. So your friends do the SAT and do lots of extracurriculars and everything. Yeah. So I think a lot of them went with programs that sort of told them what extracurriculars to do, and they all did SATs, even though it wasn't compulsory that year. It's just something good to have. Max, I don't know if you know, he's been on the channel a few times, just like he's hopped in. He got 1590 on the SAT, which is incredibly impressive. Bill Gates' school, actually. Wait, Archie, how did your student go if you don't... Oh, like, we don't know his name or their name. So I'd be interested, do you think, like, it was efficient work that they were doing? What were your thoughts on that? Do you recommend getting work experience? Yeah, definitely. If you want to get into med, so like I mentioned in one of my MMI videos, work experience is good because firstly, you just get to see what it's like, right? Obviously for the general reasons why you would like to go into the hospital before you work as a doctor. But also it's a good thing to talk about in your med interviews and just adds a lot to your reasons because you've actively gone out and sought experience, which shows a real interest in medicine. Definitely go for it. And it's really fun as well. Like, I really enjoyed it. How many practice exams do you do for each subject? Oh, jeez. I feel like it's harder and harder to answer these questions as VC is further and further away from me. Methods, I did all the VCAR ones plus maybe 6 or 7 company ones. Same with Spec. English, maybe like, I did 3 full exams, like 3 hour. No, 2. 3? No, I did 3. 2 or 3. I don't even remember now. That's mad. But I did a lot of individual essays, like 7 for each section. Chem, I did like 3. What else? I guess my other subjects aren't that relevant for you because, yeah. Let me know what subjects you're in particular curious about. Also, do you have any tips for Inglang? Inglang, learn the meta language. Really learn the meta language. So many people go in there not knowing the meta language. And also, when you get a question wrong, try and figure out how to get it right. Like, once you answer questions a certain way, the teacher will like them, and then you run with it. So you really got to find that way and stick with it once you find it. Yeah, thanks, Brendan. If anyone, who do you say gave you the most inspiration? My mom. My mom gave me the most inspiration. Or my parents, but also my mom. Did they go to Ivies? Is it University of Pennsylvania and University of Chicago Ivies? I don't really know. No way, I took them down to 3-4 hours a day, going from 86% in test to 96. That's awesome. Good job, Archer. Yeah, I swear like sometimes they just sit there and maybe like copy out their notes or something, and that takes like 4 hours. But that's really good that you're doing that for them. What? Yeah, that's just good to hear. Oh, that's awesome, Brent. Rural Thailand. Huh, you have a very rich experience. I didn't really know that. How, like, what were you allowed to do there? Thanks for the creative stack review. Got some really positive feedback from my teacher. Oh, that's really good to hear, Sid. No worries. Good to hear that you're getting whatever. Getting like good feedback. Would you recommend starting special revision early? Do you mean revision or like looking at the content before you've learned it? Or do you mean like exam revision starting early? UPenn is an IB. Yeah, okay, UPenn. Did you ever feel unmotivated? Yeah. Oh, actually not really in year 12, surprisingly. Yeah, I don't think I really felt unmotivated. Can you tutor normal English or EAL? I tutor normal English. I don't tutor EAL for the reason that I didn't study EAL, so I don't think it's very appropriate to tutor. Thanks for saving my exam, my English score. No worries, Ace. I'm really glad that I helped you out. Yeah, that's awesome. Answering exam style questions like earlier on in the year. Yeah, definitely. Did you say when? Or would you recommend? Yeah, I'd say I would recommend you do that. And as to when, maybe like, you should do it like as you learn each topic, but don't do VCAR exams until maybe July. Okay, yeah, that's really cool, Brendan. You have like legit experience. You probably have a lot more experience than a lot of people in med. That's awesome to hear. What do you as a 9 up and 95 student from a 95 student? Look, I don't know what like other people's opinions are, so I'd be keen to hear, but I think there's a very big difference between someone who got 9 up or 95 and someone who got 95. Like I'm pretty sure you have friends and you'll know, okay, this guy, like if you go to a very high achieving school, someone you think will get 9 up or 95 and someone who you think will get 95 they're like quite different, both in terms of subjects and also like what are they scoring in those subjects as well. But like exactly what differs them, there's like a lot of things. Um, yeah, there's like a lot of things. I'd say like a 99.95 is like a really high A plus, obviously. 95 might be like an A student, B plus, A student. What did your daily routine look like during VCE? I didn't do work in the mornings. I tried it a couple times, didn't like it. So I'd just wake up, go to school, do work usually during lunch. Sometimes I'd chill and do other stuff. Like I just sort of like I have homework from teachers that I just really wanted to get done so I could do my own study. I'd usually do that during lunch. But during school, just like pay attention. Go home, usually have dinner quite almost straight away. Shower, all that kind of thing, and then just study. I didn't have set times or anything. I sort of took a break when I felt like a break, and just went to bed around 12 to 1 every night. If you didn't get into Monash Med, what was your plan? This is like an interview question. Yeah, I wanted to study med, right? So I would probably go into biomed or what's the other one? Science. I wanted them to try and get into med. I probably wouldn't take a gap year for the reason that I don't really have much to do during a gap year. Oh, also, yeah, because it wouldn't be my UCAT that didn't get me in. It'd probably be my interview because my UCAT was fine. So taking a gap year wouldn't have had much point. Hi again. If you didn't get the article, Archer, is your Insta just a private Insta or is it the one you're growing with YouTube? I mean, it's kind of both. It was a private Insta, but I think you have multiple, if I'm not mistaken. I sort of just have that one, and it's sort of both. Is there any reason you're asking? Do you have like suggestions for me to sort of implement? How many subjects did you study in year 12? 6. How many hours of sleep did you get in high school? Like fair, like 1 to, let's say 12:30 on average to like 8, if it was online. 12:30 sometimes to 8:30, which is when school started, when it was online, so like 8 hours. Maybe a little bit less when we had to go to school. Did you do sport, work, or school, or just work in school? Sport, work, in school, definitely. Sport. I did sport because it was compulsory at school for the first part of the year. Also, yeah. Oh, work. Okay, I didn't do any work when I was in high school, like volunteering or anything like that. I did do sport though. But also, remember in year 12 I had COVID, so. Do you do a lot of 3-4 special questions during the year 11 break to year 12? Do you do a lot of 3-4 special questions? Yeah. I did a lot. So two things I did was I did a lot of the methods content before year 11 and a lot of the special content before year 12. Was that useful? Not. I think it was decent, right? But I think I tried to do too many questions and really it was unnecessary. I don't think it had a big impact on my holidays though. But I don't think it was that incredibly helpful. Um, I think it's good to do just to sort of ease your nerves and feel like you're doing something if you want. Yeah, Archer, that sounds good. Instagram live duo. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How do you not get really nervous before the exams? So I actually asked. I think I choked a little bit on my exams honestly, compared to like my practice exams and my rankings. So I've asked like Gordon and stuff who did really well on their exams, and everyone's nervous. No one's like not nervous. But as you go in there, you should really try and focus on the questions. And if you've practiced in exam conditions and you've practiced the strategies you will implement, and also you can try and visualize exam day, that will really help carry you through. Once you start doing the exam, like 15 minutes in, you shouldn't really be nervous anymore. You should be really focused on each question. You should feel the adrenaline pumping through you, but not like, oh, I'm so scared, this is going to be the wrong answer. I actually finished my undergrad studies. Oh, nice, Lina. What undergrad did you do? But yeah, thanks for joining. A lot of the people in my channel, I think a lot of you guys are not. I don't know. I think there's a mix, which is good. There's some year 11, year 12s, some uni, about to go into uni, and some finish their undergrad. Do you do tuition with Ruckman? I don't know Ruckman. Oh, nice. You guys recognize each other. How do you guys all know each other? Tips to avoid silly mistakes in methods and spec. I think try and generalize why you got it wrong. For example, don't write like I didn't read the log in logarithm. That doesn't make sense. But essentially write like read the question or something, or like underline key parts of the question in your error book. Try and find ways of combating the mistake that you can apply to other questions, and then you can just apply it straight away. So each time you get it wrong, think about how you can not get it wrong, or how you can minimize the chance of getting it wrong, and write it down. Bachelor of Oral Health. Nice. So that's dentist, is it? Is that going into dentistry? Yeah, but that's really cool. Are you at like Melbourne Uni, Monash Uni, RMIT, Deakin? I don't really know. What are unis? What NBA team? I don't really support an NBA team. Who do I like? I like the Heat a little bit, but yeah, I just like teams that sort of have good energy and good chemistry, which I don't really know any of at the moment. I haven't watched like a ton, just sort of highlights. Oh, same special tutor. Nice. Like, wait, you guys graduated or year 12? What was your first day of uni like, or O week? So O week was kind of bad because we had COVID, right? So we couldn't really go in person. I think there was one day where we can go in person. I just sort of walked around, saw the campus. It's really big. First day of uni, I have a vlog on that, but it was basically a bunch of like talks about what the course would cover, blah 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 blah, and it was online, so it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. Oh, Yang Yang, hello, welcome to the channel. What would you say you've done different as a 99.95 student than others who scored lower? I think the seeds for me scoring 99.95 were sowed a lot earlier because of the fact that I'd always achieved high. I think this would be a good question to ask someone who wasn't doing that well till year 12. But in terms of what I did differently, I think I studied like every day. I know a lot of people don't do that. I didn't get distracted easily. Like I didn't really play games or watch TV shows during year 12. Not that that's a bad thing, but it wasn't like an addiction. Like I didn't need to watch hours of that. Apart from that, I think I studied quite smart. Like I would do things until I was happy with them. Like I wasn't my writing. Like I would try and improve each time, try and get good scores with my teacher. I wouldn't like get something like a B plus and be like, okay, that's just my ability. I'm gonna like stick with it. I try and improve every time. Andrew, hello, welcome. And I don't know if you've seen the vlog yet, but you are in it. I don't know why you accused me of not putting you in my vlog, because you're in it. Jaden, okay. Do you have tips for proofs for Spesh? Oh, I don't think we had proofs. No, there were proofs in 1, 2. I don't think there were proofs in 3, 4, unless they were removed from the study design when I did it. Proofs are pretty hard. I would say usually you can't see what the end result is. I think just sort of follow with what you know and just try and sort of work through it. So you don't have to know how to get from A to B straight away. You can sort of know, okay, generally with these kinds of proofs, I do this next, and then I do this, and then try and figure your way there, because hopefully along the way you might realize sort of what you're missing, what you need. Oh, Anushka, hello, welcome as well. Also, congrats on getting into med. What do you wish you knew before starting med at Monash? I will make a video on that. Look, my first year wasn't the most positive because I found that it's like, yeah, I would know. What do I wish I knew before starting med? Yeah, I'm gonna make a video on it so I can think more about it. But I would say like, don't think too much. I guess don't overthink things. Just sort of study, try and understand the content, do well, and sort of enjoy other things as well. Like your whole identity is in med. You should have other things going on with your life, like just at school, right? Your whole identity isn't like school. You want to have other activities on as well, but you also want to study well and stay on top of your work. I'd say you just want to be diligent. That's probably what I wish I knew. And also that like they don't like some of the lectures and stuff, they're not the best. So I do recommend taking the initiative more as well. Did you apply for C's because you got COVID? I think everyone had to apply for C's, but there's like a special. It wasn't C's maybe. It was something else. But everyone had to apply for it just because there was COVID. But also once again, it's pretty useless, right? Because everyone applies for it. Is 90 plus SAC is required for every SAC to get 40 plus reward in Spec? Not quite. It really depends on your school. If your SACs are really hard, then not 90 plus. If your SACs are easy, then probably 90 plus. How do you recommend studying a subject that requires a lot of memorization? I'd say like try and understand things first in terms of like, for example, mitosis, right? It's a process where you get two organisms from one, and then how do we get from one to two? We've got to do these. But in terms of like precisely what happens during prophase, anaphase, telophase, that kind of thing, you probably want to make flashcards for that. Yes, at uni Melbourne, it's most of general dentistry. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really cool. It's also like another sort of medical related degree. Will you get clinical time? Like when will you get to do a lot of the more surgical things? What am I drinking? I'm drinking sparkling water. Yeah, nothing too jazzy, just sparkling water. Why are you ignoring me? For English, you write paragraphs for generic prompts and then try to mold them into different essays. Not really. I mean, towards the end of the year, or for a SAC, I would try and analyze moments I hadn't analyzed before, and I just sort of think about what kind of topic they might be used for. But most of the time, I'd be writing essays and trying to sharpen my essays, or planning for different topics. Yeah, I think general topics. Yeah, and I never tried to mold them into different essays. I would always make sure they're properly like fitted. I wouldn't force things that don't work. How do you find the right balance between work and other activities? The best way to think about it is like what you want to achieve in terms of like, do I want to get like 100 ATAR? Do I want to become a national sports person? Right, so depending on how good you want to be in work, in sport, in academics, I think you should allocate your time according to that. Yeah, I hope that helps. If you like have a more specific scenario as to you, I'd be happy to sort of help you out with that. Okay, Jaden, your message has been held for review. I'm not gonna show it because it's a bit dodgy. How much did you study on a school day? Currently clocking 6 hours daily in the holiday. I did a video on that. How much did you study? I don't quite remember, like exactly what my number was. I think like aim to study when you have free time. If you don't have sport, if you don't have music, exclude those things. Aim to study, and like obviously you'll have procrastination, you'll have breaks in between, but just aim to study for that entire period. 6 hours daily in the holidays, yeah, good work. That's quite a lot, but like if you're being productive and you're enjoying it, then it's a good solid number. Listery Crane 69, gang, thanks for joining us. Did you use Anki to study your language during VCE? No, I didn't really know what Anki was, honestly. Until what do you call it? Year 12. No, until uni. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, so I didn't really know what Anki was until year 12. A vocab I used Quizlet. I just had like the Chinese idiom, and I had like what it meant in English. What do you use your iPad for a med? So I didn't actually have this iPad. I bought this quite recently. I had this iPad. I didn't really use it till Sem 2, and you can use it to download your lecture slides and annotate them. I don't think I would do that anymore because for the reason that annotating lecture slides, like there's a lot to like scroll through. I think it's better just to make your own notes. I think just try different things and see what works for you. Is there a video on using Anki in your channel? No, I can make one. I didn't, like, there's not much to it, but I'll write it down as well as a possible idea. Do you read often, Darren? If not, I would highly recommend you give. Okay, yeah, so how do I say this? I think philosophy and self-improvement is something I like to think about, but as to something that like I think is very practical, not extremely. Like I think the practicality of reading self-improvement books dies after quite like 2 books or something. Like after like a very that's my opinion personally, but I haven't read a lot of them. Do you have any recommendations that I should try? Arag, are you friends with any of the Haley Wood? Oscar is in, like, I know a couple Oscars. Hillary Boys? There are Hillary Boys in med, right? I don't know who exactly. Yeah. I don't really remember who. Callum Munns and stuff, are they from Hillary? What camera do you use for YouTube? I use my phone up until like a month ago or 2 months ago. In which case I bought a camera. I don't have it here, but I bought like a Canon camera. But yeah, I would just recommend starting off with your phone, because when you invest a lot at the start, it's kind of, you have nothing to look forward to in the future. Where do you live and what school do you go to? Where do you did? Okay, yeah, you gotta make that first half make sense. Which school did you go to? I went to Scotch. Oh, Oscar Lay. Yeah. He was in one of my vlogs. I'm pretty sure. Funny guy. Yeah. Okay, people in your school, not in med, right? Did you do the biology bridging course before med? Oh, I don't know if you have TikTok, Anushka, but I made some remarks about it on my TikTok. Also, my TikTok is Darren1047, in case you guys want to check it out. It's academic related stuff. Biology bridging course Yeah, I did, because they made us do it. They said it was like, compulsory. You have to complete 2 of the 3 modules. So my recommendation for doing it, I'll say basically what I said in the TikTok. Essentially, there are 2 pieces of information I'd like you to consider. One, the bridging course. One, like med covers a lot of the bio content really quickly at the start of the year. So it's good because you don't need to do much work and they'll cover it again, especially if you've studied bio before. However, they do cover it very fast. Secondly, also it's not covered in the best way possible. Like sometimes it's difficult to hear what the lecturer is saying, and yeah, the information could be organized better. Secondly, the biology bridging course is a lot of work and it's a bit annoying to do in the holidays once you've gotten your ATAR and gotten your interview and got into med. And it's not arranged in the best way. There's a bunch of like videos. Like mitosis, I'm pretty sure could be explained really well in like 5 minutes, but they put in a lot of videos which are really, really long. And yeah, so it's a bit frustrating. I'd say use the bridging course not as something to finish, but as like a resource. I think use it to check out what topics you can study about, and maybe watch some of the videos in it as well that you find is helpful. I think it's a good starting point, but it shouldn't be like a something you got to complete academically. Oh, that's how you. Yeah. I met him at a ball. That was the first time I met him actually. Would you mind describing the differences in studying productivity between 9 and 9.5? I'm sure both work hard, but one has something the other doesn't. Okay, look, honestly, the person who studied 99.95 and the person who get 90, and the person who got 95, you probably could tell that they were different from like year 9. Right? It's just that one just did better than the other and it sort of continued. Maybe they went to tutoring when they were a lot younger or whatever. It's not really something specific in year 12 where these guys are exactly the same, but one guy ends up getting 99.95, one guy ends up getting 95. It's not really like that. I'd say like sort of a past history of doing well is quite important for 99.95. Subjects are quite important. And it's not just one thing as well, it's usually a combination of things. So it's a bit difficult question to answer. I'd say 99.95 probably wants to get 99.95, like that's their goal. They study really hard for it. They study every day for it. And like they do things that they don't really want to do as well. Like they, write the essay well, spend a lot of time in the essay, look for moments, even though it might be annoying to read through the book again, plan a lot. They do like all those thorough things as well. No, Oscar Late doesn't do med though. I'm fairly sure. Unless I'm like completely mistaken. Oh wait, Archer, I'm curious. When you watch your oh wait, you don't watch lectures, do you? You just like find the topic and just self-study, do you? I was gonna ask you what you do when you watch lectures. Do you like take notes or do you annotate the lecture slides? But that question's like irrelevant, right, for you. Yay, I finished a module. Wow, congratulations. 1 down, 5 to go. Okay, alright. I guess I'll chill for a bit and then I'll probably end the stream. Okay, so I'm going to year 11 this year. I'm not an exceptional student, but is it still possible to get 9 for 9.5? Yeah, yeah, of course. Like literally anything's possible if you're like it doesn't seem far fetched, right? You're not an exceptional student, but you're quite good. It's probably still possible to get 9 up and 9.5. But the way you get there is like thinking about very practical things, like how can I improve in this subject? How can I be better prepared for my exams? How can I not choke on exams? It's those practical things that will get you there. So definitely possible. If I do watch something, I may sketch some ideas down and consolidate later. Oh, okay, right. But like how? I've always been curious, right? So a uni like semester is like 12 weeks, or do you have trimesters? Maybe not. But anyway, it's like long. It's like 10 weeks or whatever. Like stuff you've learned in the first week. I know you don't really use Anki or whatever, but like stuff you've mind mapped and studied in the first week. How do you make sure you know that when it comes to sort of week 12, or how do you study that throughout the semester? I'm quite curious on that. Would you recommend med for someone who likes chem but not bio? I don't know what course to do. I think med's just a good course if you want to be a doctor. I wouldn't think too much about like specifics, but if you want to be a doctor in terms of working with people, operations stuff, like no doctor is going to care about the electron transport chain, right? It's not the most important thing in the world. But if you like the idea of being a doctor, I think you can sort of choke down that biology at the start and because the end goal is being a doctor and that's what you do for 30 years. I wouldn't say subjects are too important. It will be annoying though, definitely, because there is rote learning in med, quite a bit of it actually. I just was on the side, but I'm completely willing to give up my happiness. Yeah, don't think about it in terms of that. It's not worth it. Like you don't want to give up your happiness getting that up and 9.5, and they're not mutually exclusive, right? You should be happy because that's your goal. You should be happy working towards it. It shouldn't be like you give up your happiness to do that. Oh, nice. That's very interesting. Do you have like a timetable for when like you revise certain things? Do you make like a timetable? Oh yeah, my maps, yeah, definitely active record. Nice, nice. Yeah, learning objectives, I guess, are what they test you on. So, yeah. But I do find the learning objectives are quite broad in med. Like it's like understand how this works, and that's like great. Yeah. Way too much competition. Top 30 students out of 50,000. I have to do something way better than everyone else. Not really. Like, I don't think like I studied every single minute of every single day and was like out of my mind every single day to get 9 up and 9.5. Right? It's literally a culmination. It's not one gargantuan effort. It's doing the things that you should do every single day. You'd be surprised how many people don't study every single day. You'd be surprised how many people don't do their homework. You'd be surprised how many people don't improve on each essay or incorporate teachers' feedback. If you do all those things, that's what gets you there, right? It's not like suddenly like I quit every single thing and I just sat there and did a million maths questions. I understood the maths questions, I understood the concepts, I made sure I could do the questions quickly, efficiently, and I understood what silly mistakes there could be and how I can overcome them. That's how you do better. How early should you start preparing for UCAT? I reckon at least half a year ahead. Like I know people say like kind of depends, whatever, but definitely at least half a year because it is an important test, and you really don't know how you'll find it. Right? Will you find it an easy kind of test, or do you find it difficult? It's just like another subject, right? Some people find it hard, some people find it easy. Yeah, I get that, but I still can't get my head around basic things like that every day to be to do literally. Yeah, that's literally how you do it. Because you think about how many little things you do, right? Do you like procrastinate a lot? Do you like that's literally like I got 9.95, and then I'm telling you like this is how you get 9.95. And I have friends like my school had what 5 other people who got it in year 12, and like not they didn't really like heave a gargantuan effort. They just did the smart things, did the right things, did the work every day, and that's sort of how you get there. Don't think about too much about literally like better than everyone else in the state, because it's not like one subject, right? Initially, already the fact that you might have better subjects puts you like way ahead of someone else. It's not really that equal of a starting point. But like, yeah, don't think about it in terms of you have to be better than everyone else. Just try and like excel in the subject and master the subject, and then you just consequently end up other people they don't do the small things from the start of the year. Let's say you go to a competitive school. Is there a limit to how many interviews for med the school can offer? That doesn't quite make sense. I don't understand your question. Like, let's say I went to Scotch, right? Scotch doesn't offer me the interview. It's Monash that offers me the interview. So yeah, I don't understand your question that well. Why did you want to get 9.95? Because I always did well in school, and it's just a natural continuation. And also, school 9.95 for me, that was also like, that's the year where every single, 17, 18-year-old is competing. And I thought that was very exciting to me, right? That's literally the only time where every single person your age in the state is gunning for the same thing. And I thought it'd be very exciting if I could really do well there. But also, I just always did well and want to do well. And like, it opens up a lot of doorways for you, right? For uni as well. It's nice seeing you guys. I'll probably end the live at 11:30 if there's not too many other questions. This camera's quite good actually. I'm quite happy with the camera, even though it's a phone. So is there a limit to how many students? No, there's no limit. Like they don't. I don't think they. Do they know what school you went to? Maybe, but there's no limit. Like a school can get every single med interview offer, if they just happen to be that good. Unless like Monash has some things going on behind the scenes that they don't say, but there's there's no outright limit on how many schools can get how many things. There was something called the Quanley Dow Scholarship. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's like a year 11 or year 12 thing or whatever. They only allocate 2 people for each school to get it for some reason. Maybe for like making it more equal or something. So no matter how good your school is, they only let 2 people have it. Yeah, sure, go for it. It's only, yeah. Look, no one I know. You don't. I think push yourself hard if you enjoy it, if you want to, but don't feel guilty if you don't, because you really just got to do things correctly. That's how you get it, right? I never really woke up extremely early and work the whole day, every single day, because it's not that necessary. But I think if you feel like that's helping you, if you feel like you're being productive, and you're enjoying it, then go for it. But yeah, good luck with your study. Did you read all your books for English during the holidays? Not the comparative book, which was Ransom for me, because that was like semester 3. Not semester 3, term 3. So you just read it during the second holidays. And you don't write any pieces on it, so it's pretty useless. Just read your text response and your creative response. Also, it is on my TikTok. I mentioned like what you should do during the VCE, during the holidays. No worries, Shiv. Did you have a schedule? If so, was it daily or weekly? Daily schedule can be too suffocating. I didn't have a schedule. Yeah, I didn't really have a schedule. I think I sometimes wrote to-do lists in my notes page for like a weekend or something. So let's say I had a big sack week next week. I'd look at what sacks I had to complete and like what work I wanted to get done and what whether I needed to make my cheat sheet or anything, and I just write it in notes what I wanted to complete, and I just make sure to try and get through that. But yeah, if a daily schedule is suffocating, you want to enjoy it, right? Just put down a couple points you want to cover and do it. Studying shouldn't be like, feel like pain the whole time. It should be like difficult because, the content might be hard or something, but it shouldn't be like painful. You shouldn't try and make it too hard for yourself. Hello, Mikhail. I thought taking the mentality of Mike Tyson to be the world champion, you must give up your happiness to be successful, but I take your approach to studying. Thank you, Darren. Wish you the best. Yeah, look, I think, how do I say this? I have water. Like, I know that kind of mentality, right? Like Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, whatever. But they literally weren't working every single day. If you look at Mike Tyson, he did not wake up from 6 a.m. and box till like 6 p.m., 12 hours straight, and then repeat the next day. He worked smart, he worked on particular skills, right? He was just thinking about boxing the whole time, which is sort of like what you do with studying. You want to think about, VCE a little bit as well. But he also did a lot of other stuff. Like, he did not work all day, every day. He had a lot of partying, a lot of drugs, a lot of that. Yeah. So it's more a mentality, as in like determination. When you work hard, but like you don't need to work the whole time because no one did that. Michael Jordan didn't do that. Mike Tyson didn't do that. They just worked a significant amount, worked smart every day. Oh yeah, Archer, I saw your message. Optimal cognitive load to my Instagram story. I will need to do some research into that because I don't actually know. Like, it sounds like, you somehow like manage things in your mind differently, or you choose what to manage in the best way possible. But yeah, I need to do more research before I can make a video talking about that. Yeah, Archer is here. Definitely a legend. How are you? Did you have a part-time job very recently? I'm doing well, Mikhail. How are you doing? Did I have a part-time job? No. What's desirable difficulty? I'm curious, Archer. Students often want to be busy, not productive. Yeah. I agree with that. I think once you explain to them a bit more, they sort of realize. But people like to feel busy, which is why so many people like taking pretty notes or studying, saying that I studied for 14 hours, whatever. Because when you go to your friends, right? If you study efficiently, like sort of what Archie teaches his students, you do like 3 hours of study, whatever. There's nothing you can say to your friends until like the test result comes. Whereas it sounds cool to say like, I studied for 10 hours. I wrote like 20 pages of notes. I filled my textbook. That sounds cooler, but you got to really think about doing less to achieve more, which I agree with. Tony Xie, who is that? Someone I meant to know, or is that someone in the chat? How many hours do you study in a day? What would you do in those other hours? How many hours do I study in a day? In year 12, maybe. Look, I made a video on this. I really did not measure how much time I studied. I would say, like, I tried to study whenever I didn't have something on. Okay? I wasn't always successful because I get distracted or whatever, but I tried to study whenever I didn't have something on. I really can't give you like a numerical answer. What would I do in those other hours? I'd probably just be on my phone chilling for a little bit. Maybe watching a little bit of YouTube, but otherwise like, sport, compulsory. Yeah, I guess, but like, how do I say this? I don't think gifted with IQ, not as many people are gifted as you would think they are. They just sort of work smart, right? They know what to do. They know you don't write, like for example, English is the best example. You don't do well by writing an essay every day for 365 days. That's literally not the way to do well. It's not you do like 10 essays in the holidays before school even starts because you don't know what a good essay is. You don't know what moments are good for you to analyze. Right? Academics is different to sport. That's something really important to note. There is a limit to how much you can work smart in sport. A lot of it is working hard, but academics, a lot of it is also, I'd say working smart is probably a bit more of a factor here in academics. And I think writing essays is the best example. So just be very conscious of what you're doing. Just try not to be the person who's like, I study 20 hours every day, but it's not the work you want to be doing. But I sort of get you, right? If you don't feel like you're as talented, you do want to work hard, which I think is a good sort of habit to have. Yeah, definitely, Archer. I agree. I guess it's still like sort of conventional ways of thinking that you just got to grind, you got to work really hard, or that kind of thing. But I think with people like you, right, you sort of tell people about you having a really good uni scores, but also not studying that much. I think that's like good, and people are sort of starting to change the culture a bit, I guess. I'm head off. Brendan, enjoy your night, and thanks for joining. Oliver, how do you get motivation to study? It's the school holidays right now, but now and I've holiday homework, but no motivation to do it. Are you coming up to year 12? I think yeah, that should give you some motivation, right? I want to start the year off on a good note. I really want to get this done. And I just enjoy doing work in general. Like, you sort of feel productive and you get something done. I think if the holiday homework is not that interesting, which sometimes it isn't, just get it done, right? You just want to start the school on a good, start the year on a good start. You don't want your teacher to be chasing you up on your work, feeling behind, getting more homework once school starts. It's just annoying. Just don't do that. Yeah, so if the work's not that enjoyable, just try and get it done. Organize a time with a friend. Just say, like, 2 hours this afternoon, I'm going to do this. If you want to give me some motivation, say, afterwards I'm going to go kick the footy. I'm going to go to... Can you go to a friend's house? Yeah, you can, right? I'm going to meet up with a friend and, like, go to a park or something. Organize something after those 2 hours that you can look forward to. Did you ever consider doing a physio degree? Physio? Not particularly. I always wanted to do medicine. And I knew with my ATAR, like, I could definitely do medicine. Just depends, like, what medicine I do. I think physio is a really nice degree. I have seen a lot of physios, met a lot of physios, and it's definitely, like, very impactful to a patient's life as well. I think it's a lovely degree. You're the GOAT. Thank you, Rashank. I appreciate it. Can you give a shout out? Sure. Shout out to Chase Nathan. Thank you for supporting the channel. Is he a friend of yours? That's all. How do you know you wanted to do medicine? Sort of family reasons. I answered it a little bit. So I did an MMI question, why do I want to study med? It's not exactly why I want to study med, because there's some, like, private things, but it's kind of similar. Like, it's along that vein. There are family reasons. I admire doctors. I've done a lot of work experience, and I think it really is a really good way to help people, right? Like, the classic thing where it's like, don't say you want to help people, because being a teacher helps people, being a dentist helps people. Like, yeah, cool, right? But I think helping people is a really good answer for a doctor if you specify that it's helping people in a very special way. Like, education is special, but health, I think, is probably the most important thing in a person's life. How long should I study if I'm aiming for 9 up and 9 ATAR? It's not how long you should study. Just try and make sure you're doing well in your, like, make sure your teacher is giving you good feedback. Like, make sure you're scoring well in practices, and make sure you are always on top of your work. How'd you go into UCAT? I got 3,050, which is good. Not as good as my ATAR, but, like, decent. How much did you study for it? I started since January. So my UCAT was in July. I started in January. I did a practice exam a week, basically every week. I think it's 3 hours, right? And I did, like, practice questions and maybe sub-test mocks during the week. Thank you, Kevin. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's all? Okay, that's good to hear. Carol, how did you land work experience in the med field? What age and when? So year 10, we had to do work experience for our school. I think most schools, you have to do work experience in year 10. I just emailed the hospital, Austin Hospital for me, it was. And they said, okay, like, yeah. I don't remember, I think my dad helped me find it. But you can definitely ask the school careers and stuff if they can put you in contact with hospital. So year 10, I would have been 15? 15, I think. 15 or 16. Alright, so we're past 11:30. I guess 11:40, 11:45. Let's see. See if there are any more questions. Are you guys all on holidays now? You would be, right? Like, close to holidays-ish. You can't just ask me agree or disagree. Anything that's like agree or disagree is usually as many sides. I would say like 75% disagree, 25% agree. Yeah, that's probably my opinion. Yeah, like, school is something that's fixed most of the time, right? By your financial situation, by how smart you were in, like, year 6. So I wouldn't say it's something you should really focus on. But it does affect in sort of the way there's teachers and things like that. But I would say with so many resources out right now, in terms of like YouTube channels online, you definitely there's not as heavy a reliance on English teachers as it used to be. Especially if you're doing like English, I guess is hard, right? Because you do different texts. But if you're doing my text, then you can literally check out my channel if your teacher's not the best, and you're probably gonna do well. How do you go about studying special maths? How did I study it? I had a really good tutor who explained things really well to me. I'd say if you don't have that, I think it's useful. It's good to get a tutor for maths if you had to get a tutor for something. I did practice questions consistently. Made sure I understood the concept. So questions, right? They can ask you things in slightly different ways. Like the textbook won't get you to do the same thing 100 times. They get you to do something 50 times, change something, get you to do it 50 times again. Like understand what's changing, understand why you're doing things. And also practice exams start early. Make sure you can do things well under time. SACs as well, do them under time. Find ways to check your answers. Hello Darren, for med I would like to work experience, but I'm worried about going in the hub of COVID in hospital. Oh, okay. Look, I'd say you just have to cop it, right? Like you're not going to find a hospital where, I think hospitals are generally quite safe. They have really good protocols for people for if you do get COVID, and there's very good like sterilization and cleaning. If just don't go to a COVID clinic then. If you like don't do work experience at the places where people get COVID tested, because that's probably like a place where you're more likely to get COVID. So just any place apart from there is probably is going to be like a fine choice. But also when you do work experience, you don't get like too much of a choice. In like oh yeah, like usually they have set things that you should do or people you should follow or a set area you should be in. But I guess maybe applying for like a rehab place is quite nice. It's probably low key, not going to have COVID too much. What was your backup option if you didn't get into medicine? Look, it was legit medicine. Like I was going to get in unless I choked my ATAR hard. But even then, like I would still get a decent ATAR. I'd probably get into biomed and I'd study hard and try and get to med then. Dentistry is a very respectable degree. Doesn't really get my heart pumping like med does. So I didn't really consider dentistry, but I think it's a fine degree if you still want to be involved medically and if you just like the idea of dentistry. In your holidays from year 11 to year 12, did you do any extra work? Yeah. I did a lot of special work. I did a lot of maths. So I did a lot of the textbook during year 11 to 12. It wasn't that useful, like I said, but it made me feel like I was doing something and was like a little bit useful. Just wondering how you approached VCE chemistry. I'm finding it kind of challenging. Are you in 1-2 or 3-4? Like, are you going into 3-4? Oh, I assume you are. You wouldn't be finished with 3-4. Or are you going into like 1-2? How did I approach it? What exactly are you finding hard about it? Are you finding the questions hard, or are you finding like you don't understand what the textbook says? Personal thoughts on GAMSAT and postgrad entry. Oh, see you later, Archer. Thank you for joining today, and thanks for your input. And look forward to that Instagram live. Have a good evening. Personal thoughts on GAMSAT and postgrad entry. I really respect those people because I have friends doing biomed, and it is hella tough. Like, they have tests so often, assignments so often, and I think it really sharpens them really well. So I think it's, I heavily respect them. And I think when I go into third year is when I will meet the people who are postgrad, and I think it'll be like, they'll be very hardworking, excellent people. How was it not useful being ahead? Like, I didn't really understand what I was doing, I felt. Like, I didn't really understand the concept. The textbook questions don't challenge you a ton. And, like, I felt like I was just doing it to feel complete, to get through this chapter. I think it's good to do it if you, like, want to, like, if you want to just do a little bit and understand things well, but don't rush it like I did. Go into 3-4. Yeah. So when you say you do practice exam June, July, do you mean to say that you finished the entire course for your subjects by that time? I only did practice exams from July for spec, and for that, I didn't learn some of it. I hadn't learned some of it by then, but I just leave those questions out. But it was only like a couple questions, right? It'd be like one extended response question or something. But I think it's much more worthwhile getting accustomed to VCAT style questions rather than waiting till you've learned everything. Another thing I would say is that content was cut from my year, whereas the exams were pushed later. So I had less content to cover. I think, yeah, Tony, I was asking you what in particular you found hard. I guess 11:50 or pushing to 11:50. I might do a live like before school. Yeah, I don't know what kind of lives I should do. Weekly before school starts. I haven't think about it. Application questions. Yeah, so application questions I remember from Chem. If you're doing the exam ones, they're really complex. There's like multiple parts, and the what do you call it? And the text is quite clunky. With those, really just try and get your head around what's happening. That's the most important part. So, for example, like titration, it's very, very confusing, right? Like when you dilute something and then you titrate it, what's the titer, what's the volume, how much has it been diluted by? I'd say just really try and clarify in your mind exactly what's happening. So, okay, this guy pours this into the glass. So I think really try and understand the situation before attending the question, rather than just, okay, there's a number here, there's a number here. They look like I could just use the formula I know, let's shove it in. So yeah. And afterwards, if you don't know how to do a question or you get it wrong, go back to it, see how they got the answer, and really understand. Like look at it again and make sure you can really do it if they forced you to do it again. I think so many people when they get a question wrong, they look at the answer like, cool, move on. But if I gave them that exact question a minute later, they wouldn't be able to do it, which is not something you want to say. Cheyenne is my tutor. What are your thoughts on him? Like, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's a med, smart dude. Yeah. How do you for chem? I assume, and for like last year or like this year. Okay, Carol. Lastly, how did you approach uni, like lectures and content overall? So different courses have different how it works. For med, our lectures were all pre-recorded, which is not that motivating because you have to watch it in your own time, and no one really likes to watch an hour video in their own time, especially if it's not live. How did I approach it? I tried to stay on top of my lectures. I think this year I'll try and have a schedule. Like I'll try and watch maybe 3 on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, or something like that, rather than just doing them randomly and leaving them to the last moment. But yeah. And content overall, I reckon just stay on top of your content, really. And try and make sure each week is a good benchmark. Make sure each week you're on top of your content. And when you have classes or like very small group classes that go over content that you for that week, make sure you cover that content before that class. Because then that really is helpful. Otherwise you sort of sit there confused and just feel bad. So main point is just stay on top of your work. That's really the big highlight of uni. So many people don't do that because they become less organized after high school. Is it worthwhile to do the Cambridge checkpoints during the summer holidays? What subject? Depends what subject, Isaac. Maths is not good because they just take the VCAR questions, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, whereas Chem is like okay, but you kind of want to do some textbook questions, practice, like understand it first before you do it. Because Cambridge checkpoints are kind of like exam questions, they're kind of like the final point. Is concentrating on tones worth it for languages? Like for the oral section? Yeah, definitely, right? Like the way you pronounce something is very obvious and is probably something they're going to mark you on in the exam. So it's definitely important. How do you know Rion? He's my tutor, by the way. He went to the same school as me. Yeah. What does he tutor you for? Dragon, he's my Chem 1-2 tutor this year. He's a good tutor. I don't know how he balanced being school captain and getting into med. Oh, okay. Nice. I didn't... Oh, yeah, he tutors both, doesn't he? 1, 2, and 3, 4. But yeah, that's cool. I think Shine often does a lot. Like, he does a lot of extracurricular stuff. Yeah. He tutors me for English. Oh, yeah, he did get 50 English, so fair. How difficult is it to achieve a 40 realistically? I hate to say it, but I think it depends a little bit on your school. If your school has a history of getting 40s and you're relatively smart, you're probably going to get a 40. But if your school isn't, and not many people get 40s, it's going to be relatively difficult. I'd say it's easier than people think to get a 40. Even if a school doesn't have many people that get a 40, it's not as hard as you would imagine. Right? Like, if you look at the exam scores of people who get 40, they get a lot of questions wrong. Right? It's not like they lose 5 marks or something. You usually lose a lot more than 5 marks. So I think it's easier than people think. No worries, Isaac. I'll end the live at like 11:50 then, if there are no more questions. Oh, never mind. Dragon, my grind begins this year. My first stop is Raw 50 in SAC. I'm year 11 by the way. Yeah, that's a good goal to have. Go for it. Try and study well for it. Like, yeah, don't think about the numbers too much. Like, the number is a goal, right? But you kind of want to think about how you can get better and how you can understand the content and how you can study. Those are the bricks that will help you get there. Oh, how is 1-2 camp going, by the way? Have the classes started with Shine? Are you enjoying them? How does the student life of a university student vary to that of a high school student? Yeah, you're not at school much as a university student, and you don't get homework. At least I don't get homework from med. It's sort of self-study. You get assignments occasionally, like pretty free life. You study as much as you want to. You don't really have many assessments. Teachers don't know you personally that much. How deeply did you annotate your text response before school started? I didn't annotate it that carefully. Like, if things really stood out to me, I would just circle it, like a really cool alliteration or a really powerful phrase. But apart from that, you don't really know like what type of essays you're going to get, what are the key themes, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't annotate it too heavily because you don't really know a lot of the context behind the book, and you're probably just going to annotate it wrong. So yeah, and I wouldn't pressure myself into doing that. Do you know if biomed is worth it? Do you mean to get into med? Is biomed worth it to get into med? Or is it just worth it as like a course by itself? Oh, starting November. Nice. Very organized person. No, that's good. That's good. I think it's good to have a role model as a tutor. Yeah, it's good to your tutor as a role model, because then you see someone every week that you can aspire to be. I had that for Spesh, which was nice. Oh, as a course, I think it's very competitive because a lot of people in biomed do want to study medicine. So like, if you want to do well, you're competing against those guys. Yeah, it really depends what you want to get into in the future, whether biomed's really worth it, as is the case with a lot of undergraduate degrees. What were your SAC scores for methods like? Basically 100%. Maybe I'd, like, not 100%, but like 95, 96%. I'd lose like 2 or 3 marks. Also, Darren, is it too early to start writing practice paragraphs for the text response essay right now? Yeah, I think it's too early. Text response comes a bit later. You have creative response first, and then text response. And also, yeah, I don't think your paragraphs will be that good. I think you can write some just for fun, just to see like, let's see if I get it right. But they won't be like that good of a quality. Do you enjoy maths? I do enjoy maths, but like I don't enjoy it enough to self-study it. Yeah, but like if I had a class or something, I would enjoy it. Do I tutor? Yes, I do tutor. Dragon. Yeah, I do tutor. I tutor English. So the subjects I can tutor: English, Inglang, Latin. Oh, like that I'm willing to tutor. I can tutor more subjects than that, but the ones I'm willing: English, Inglang, Latin. I feel like I'm missing one. Yeah, those 3 mainly. And but this year I have English language VCE. Do you effective ways to find which themes quotes fit into? I don't think that should be the hardest thing in the world. Firstly, it's not that important what themes your quotes fit into, right? Themes are more for you to sort of think about. But also, like, themes are really broad, like destruction or something. I'm pretty sure you can figure out whether your quote fits into it or not. And one quote can be attributed to multiple themes as well. Oh, hello, Kieran. Welcome to the channel. Kieran's in med as well, and 99.95. So, very impressive. And 99 percentile UCAT, I think. Rishang, would you have considered going interstate rural for med if you didn't make the school leaver program? So I didn't actually apply interstate. I don't think you can go rural for med. There's no rural unis for med, I'm pretty sure. Like undergrad med. Interstate, I didn't apply for interstate, so I guess that's a no. I have like sort of personal reasons for that. But yeah, I just didn't apply. I only applied for Monash. Is there a lot of maths in med? No. There's literally like 0 maths. There's some concentration things, but basically 0. Do you have many late nights during year 12? It depends what you consider a late night. It wasn't extremely late. Like I remember maybe like a handful of times I slept at like 4 or something, or 3, but mostly just 12 to 1. Is creative writing regular English VCE? Yeah. It's just your first SAC. It's just creative writing SAC. Is your tutoring face-to-face, and would you say it's worth it for Englang 1-2? So I don't tutor Englang 1-2 for the reason that it's very different to 3-4. And I don't think it's that entirely necessary. Also, I'm full for this year, so I can't really tutor 1-2. But if you're interested in 3-4, do shoot me a message. My tutoring, I can do both. I prefer face-to-face, but obviously if my student's uncomfortable or if they live really far away, Zoom is okay as well. What was your detailed study topic? I did Sima Guang. Shamil, hello. Bunch of, okay, meme words. I dread creative writing. Yeah, it's not creative writing in the sense that you need to come up with something on the spot. Usually it's like related to a book you're studying. So it's not like I give you a picture, come up with a story. 12 a.m. I can't even keep 20% attention after 10 p.m. Different people have different study habits. Alright, like that's fine. If you can't keep attention after 10 p.m., don't force yourself. Right? Just make sure you get a lot of work done before 10 p.m. You'll probably be more efficient than me before that 10 p.m. mark. But then afterwards, just chill. Like really, unless you have like work you have to get done or you really want to get done, don't like push yourself too hard. 中国高铁 as a detailed study topic. I think it's fine. Look, I don't think it's like the deepest topic, but I think it's like a solid topic. Like I think it's, got interesting aspects to it. But it's not like a 45, like a rule 50 topic, if you get what I'm saying. Like some topics have a capacity to get you to rule 50. Some topics can get you to like maybe like a 47, but they're more solid, right? The harder topics are harder for a reason, because they're more difficult to understand. The content is harder to memorize. I think Gautier is a very solid topic for a solid score if you pull it off well. Oh, Anadi, hello. Oh, I mentioned you earlier. Some people are asking me, my friends who go to American unis, and I mentioned you. So this is the guy, Max, who got 1590 on the SAT. Did I get C's? I think everyone got C's for COVID, but it was pretty useless, probably. I doubt they used it for anything. Thanks for the advice, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Norris Law Dragon, have a good night. Is this your first time popping into my stream? Maybe. I think it's the first time I've seen your username. But yeah, have a good night as well. Alright, I guess we'll end it at 12 then, if there are no more questions. But I'm happy to answer more questions if you guys have any. But there will also be lives in the future, closer to when school starts, so go for it as well. Samurai Gorilla. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's reasonable. Unless you have a lot of things you really want to get done, then sleep a little bit later. But otherwise, like 10 p.m., 6, definitely. Take care of yourself. You don't want to be tired during the school day because that will reduce your productivity by a lot. What parts of Sima did you research to find the topic hard? Yeah, the topic's really hard because he's a very political figure. So a lot of the language I remember is like politics and like, yeah, it's just very hard language. Like Chinese, I'm good at. I can speak it fluently in the sense that, daily things, buying food, conversing with people. But political stuff in any languages is kind of hard. What parts of him? I did like him as a youth. I think I did it chronologically. Like him as a youth, his adult life. I think I did also his work because he wrote like some pretty famous things. So I did that as one aspect as well. And yeah, and in his youth I included the famous story where he broke open a pot. How long did you contemplate starting a YouTube channel for? Look, I actually don't remember now that you asked me this. But I think I didn't think about it for too long before I started it. Like I thought about it maybe like a week, 2 weeks maybe. But just like I didn't sit there thinking about it for a year and then came around to making one. I think I did it pretty quickly from what I remember. Does the GAT affect your study score? Yes. Why I was doing math in the holidays not that helpful? Because I was more in a rush to be able to say, I got chapter 14 done, 15 done. I managed to finish the whole book. That's my goal. It wasn't to learn something thoroughly, which was a problem. So that was why it wasn't that helpful, because I didn't really understand it that well. And I found I had to relearn it. Also, when you learn things like chapter 11, 12, 13, right, you don't breach that again until really late in the year. So it's really easy to forget. Choose a topic that isn't political. Oh yeah, by political, like I don't mean he wasn't a current political figure, right? He was like really ages ago, so it wasn't like controversial or anything like that. He's talking about extracurricular is important. Yeah, when you have a chance to, definitely mention extracurriculars. I think it's a good idea to do. Uh, but like mention it when it's appropriate. They might ask you like, you're a doctor returning to your school to talk about why you want to study medicine. And you might talk about, I participate in a lot of extracurriculars such as helping out, volunteering at a hospital or whatever. Or they might ask you like, in a panel interview, they might ask you what type of person you are, and then you can mention extracurriculars. They're good to show like, skills that you've developed, show your experience. I'm doing well, Samurai. Thank you. How are you doing? Did you use any fancy study techniques? Not anything fancy. I want to try them. I want to learn Archie's techniques a bit more because he's doing well with them, whereas I didn't do like that well last year. So yeah, I want to give them a go. But I use active recall because but I don't think that's considered fancy. Do you think it's crucial to have a good relationship with your teachers? Yeah, I think it's just crucial to have a good relationship with like anyone, basically. Teachers is good because, especially for English, right, sort of they have an impression of you. And if you're a good student, they will more likely to give you good marks, which is just true. And it's just like, usually teachers are good people. They try to help you. So there's no reason to have a bad relationship with them. Do you have any recommendations? Good detail study. Oh, okay. Let me think. Oh, I actually don't remember what my friends did. Oh, also, actually, Gold Tier might be a decent topic for the reason that you have to do a picture this year. Like now for detailed study, you can't. It's not just like a topic. I think I'm not really an expert on this because usually the Chinese school teachers are better at this kind of thing. So you should probably ask your Chinese school teacher or your school teacher who teaches Chinese about good detailed study topics. When you finish your maths segment, how did you find yourself redoing them? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's why it wasn't very useful, and I didn't really understand it that well. Did you just chilling? Good to hear. Did you consider taking literature? Yes, I didn't take it for two main reasons. One, it's harder to do well in. Two, I don't know whether it was a Scotch problem, but it's a little unreliable. Like in past years, people who were ranked really highly didn't do that well, and people who weren't ranked that highly ended up doing well. And I thought that was a bit like made me more hesitant to pick literature. Also, I like English because you get a bit of taste of each, right? Argument analysis, sort of like Yin Lang, text response, and comparative is like, it's just very diverse kind of writing. Yeah, see you later, Batzel. Have a good evening. Because he got scared. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. I think Max didn't do Yin Lang because he was scared. I did 3-4 this year and copped the 46. 3-4 in what? Literature? That's very impressive. 46 in literature is really good. Yeah, good work. Congratulations. Or do you mean Chinese? Oh, English. Okay, good. Wait, English or lit? Have a good evening, Homil. Enjoy your night. Close analysis. Yeah, but don't you agree it's unreliable, Max? Like, I remember, like, Klugo was getting the best marks by far on the practice exams. But then, like, he got, like, the 4th highest study score across the cohort. Like, and like, the year before, like, Stone, right? I just feel like something's, like, not quite right there. So, I wasn't scared of the close analysis. I was scared of being good at the subject, but not getting a good mark. Oh, lit. Good work. Yeah, very impressive. Do you have any tutoring place recommendations? I think Derek Haar's really good for maths. If you go to him, please tell him that I recommended him. But he was really good. He's like a great person, very intelligent as well. How did you prepare for your argument analysis, Sax? Yeah, do the subject for the passion, right? But I enjoy all 3 Englishes. English, Lit. Like, there's not much difference between how much I enjoy them. And I like English for the diversity as well. Right? Because you don't just study deep analysis. You study, newspapers. You study, a play and a movie, and you compare stuff. So if my love for them is like quite close, then it comes down to academia, and Lit's like sus. How did you prepare for your argument analysis, Sax? Mm, I wrote pieces, duh. I also practiced reading time. Reading time is really important for argument analysis. I practiced like what paragraphs, like looking at pieces and grouping paragraphs together, what techniques I'd analyze. Um, yeah. So I think it's really important to be able to identify what techniques to analyze, and timing is really important in argument analysis because you could spend the whole day analyzing something, but you don't. You got to pick the important parts, the part that will give you marks, and so practicing that's really important. Do you think attending unis located in cities provide more opportunities? I think some unis are just more renowned, like Monash or Melbourne. But as to more opportunities, yeah, perhaps like internships. I guess other places might be closer. The uni is more famous, so you might have a better chance of getting in. But I wouldn't say it's like the biggest issue. Marto's law class was life changing. I tell you. Okay, that's excellent to hear. Well, I couldn't have anticipated that, could I? I really enjoyed Couch's class as well. Also, Martin added me on LinkedIn, which is nice. Don't understand how people who do actuarial science are able to have a part-time job. I enrolled in the timetable so packed. I don't know how much work actuarial science demands, but yeah, I mean, start it, right? Don't start a part-time job, but do the course, see how it fits. Maybe online school meant a little bit less work, but maybe there's less work than you anticipated outside of class. Were you pedantic with your time for English? Yes. You gotta be pedantic with all your timings and all your subjects that you want to do well in. If you don't want to do well in a subject, don't be pedantic with the timing. English, every paragraph I knew where I wanted to be. How much meta language do you commit to memory? Okay, you want to know what every single word on that meta language list means, but recalling them, you want to recall like the groups of them, right? So for example, coherence, it's like an umbrella term for inference, logical ordering, formatting, right? You want to be able to recall those things, but you don't need to be able to recall like every single word on the study design. Discourse features, you need to be able to recall, prosodics or intonations, those kind of things. But you need to know what everything means, and you need to be able to recall some of the sort of umbrella, the mini ones under the umbrella one. How long is the interview for med? Like, each station's what, like 8 minutes or something? It's like 6 stations, like an hour 20, I think. But there is 8 stations usually, I think. But there are 6 stations if it's because of COVID. So I'm not too sure. But overall, a bit more than an hour and a half, around about that. $40 in spec scales to like 53, I think. 52 point something, 53. Do you take any humanities? Humanities, doesn't that include... I took languages. Well, I don't actually know what humanities includes. I did languages and English, and 2 Englishes. 2 languages, 2 Englishes, if that counts as like humanities. Alright, I'll end the stream at 12:10 then, if there are no more questions. Wouldn't that be unfair to the raw 50s? I mean, the point of scaling is that, like, I think it's still a little skewed, but what they're kind of saying is that getting a raw 50 in further is easier than getting a raw 40 in spec. That's kind of what they're saying with that kind of scaling. Or it demands more effort, or it's more competitive, something along the lines, or you have to be smarter. Just somewhere in that basis, it's saying that 40 in spec compared to a 50 in this subject that doesn't scale is more worth. For English, there's so many pieces of evidence in the text. What was your strategy? Would you use more subtle pieces of evidence? So my strategy was I'd analyze the obvious ones, okay, because you just don't want to miss them, and I'd add some ones that were really juicy that I could talk about in 2 or 3 lines that had like were really cool, really piled on, really helped the author's effect, and maybe some subtle ones as well. But I think it's really just you just got to do a lot of it and figure out your timing. And when you do a lot of it, you sort of realize what I can take, what I don't take. Also, if a lot of things do the same thing, like they all make the reader feel included, I won't talk about it as much as well. Are you excited that uni... have you always wanted to study pursue medicine. Yeah. I think I wanted to be a gardener when I was a kid, but like in recent memory, yeah, medicine. Are you excited that uni is starting in a month? What are you looking forward to? Like, I don't really mind. I enjoy spending time like with my family and friends and chilling and playing basketball. But like this kind of life has to come to an end, right? So I'm fine with going back to uni. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to learning the content. I think the content will be nice, and meeting people in person will be cool as well. Also, a lot of the first years, I think it'll be cool to meet them as well, because I'll probably see a lot of the people, who watch my videos, in person. I think it'd be nice. Yeah. Would you recommend getting an iPad in year 12? I think if you want one, get one. Like, if you can see how it will practically help you, go for it. I only used this iPad since like year 9 to year 12. I didn't have a laptop. It didn't have a computer. I just used this iPad. It had a keyboard, by the way. Like, it wasn't just like this. So yeah. But I think if you have a device already and you don't really need an iPad, then you don't really need a buy. How do you prepare for English during the summer holidays? I have a TikTok where I talk about that. DarrenTan47. I just read my books and just circled things I thought were important and did the holiday homework. Apart from that, not much else. Should I enroll the offers I have in round 1 even though I don't like it and wait for round 2? Look, I contact your school for this because I'm not clear on the logistics of it. I'm pretty sure if you enroll, you won't get a round 2. Yeah. Like for me, right, I would have gotten into, I had like 5 preferences, I think. I would have gotten into all of them, right? But I only got an offer from Monash Med and I accepted it. I think if you reject it, they won't give it to you. Like they if you accept it, they won't give you another offer. I feel like, unless it's another uni or something. I'm not too sure on this. You might want to check with your school. How many body paragraphs would you write for argument analysis? I would. There's no should. It kind of depends. I'd say 3 to 5. 5 is definitely the maximum. 3 is kind of the minimum. And it just depends on the text. I'm gonna head off. Good night. Yeah. Good night. Have a good evening. Alright, I think I will end this stream as well then. It was nice chatting to you guys. No more questions? Alright, yeah, have a good holiday and I will see you all in the next live and or in the next video. Cool, catch you guys.